Hey there, fellow nature wanderers. If you're like me, you love spending time outdoors, breathing in that fresh air, and connecting with the natural world. But at home, have you ever thought about what's in the products you use every single day? That's why I'm excited to share Apple Valley Natural Soap with you. Their handcrafted all-natural soaps are made with organic ingredients, essential oils, and no harsh chemicals. Awesome! So they're not only great for your skin, but they're safe for the planet. And they don't just stop at soap. Apple Valley Natural Soap also carries a full line of natural skincare products, including shampoos, body butters, facial bars, and more. All designed to nourish your skin without synthetic ingredients. You can't beat that. That's just awesome. Whether you're hiking in the woods or just winding down after a long day, their products bring a little bit of nature right into your home. And the best part? By supporting Apple Valley Natural Soap through The Nature Wanderer, you're also supporting this podcast. Just head to the show notes and click on the link for Apple Valley Natural Soap. So go ahead, treat yourself and the environment to something better. Your skin and Mother Nature will thank you. Now let's get on with our adventure. Hello, fellow wanderers. Welcome to the Nature Wanderer podcast, a podcast where we slow down, step outside, and take in the beauty of the natural world, one adventure at a time. I'm Paul, your guide on this meandering journey through forest, fields, and streams, and the moist, dark places of our homes. So grab your walking stick, or maybe just a comfy chair by the window, because today we're exploring the fascinating world of the house centipede. So the weather in Western New York lately has been downright cold. Yeah, I've been doing what I keep telling you guys not to do. I've been hibernating. Yeah, I keep saying, get out, explore nature. But when you have like temperatures below 20 degrees and wind chill down in the negative numbers, it's time for me to just stay inside. It's too dangerous out there. We haven't had a lot of sunshine. We've had a lot of wind, a lot of snow, a lot of cold temperatures. So I decided I'm going to stay inside for a little while, and I started exploring the inside nature of my own house. And there is a guy that I really like, one of my favorite non-insects, but he is an arthropod. Insects, well, they have 3 body parts, 6 legs. This guy has a lot more legs than that. I'm talking about the house spider. Yeah, the house spider, I find them in my house every once in a while, not all the time, because they do like to be rather reclusive, and I'm sure you've probably seen them and got freaked out by them. I know my wife hates them. Yeah, she sees them, and they are eerie looking. I don't blame her. I probably, before I understood what they were and how important they are to the indoor ecosystem, I probably would have just taken a shoe and squashed them, but I don't. Anyhow, let's talk about the centipede, the house centipede to be exact, because they're a little bit different than other centipedes. If you've ever seen a very large centipede wandering through your basement or even in your kitchen sink, they like dark, moist places. I'm sure you might have screamed. You probably reached for something to swat it with. I'm here to change that attitude, because these guys are actually very friendly and helpful arthropods. So, who is this critter that we try to evict from our homes because they are so misunderstood? Well, they're known as the house centipede. Latin name, Scutagera coleoptrata. They are an arthropod. not an insect. Now, what's the difference? As I said, insects have 3 body parts, 6 legs. Arthropods actually include insects in their group, but insects don't include arthropods. So if you're an insect, you are an arthropod. If you're an arthropod, you might be an insect, but probably not. Or maybe not, I should say. Anyhow, that's the difference between the two. So we can't call a house centipede an insect. It's an arthropod. And while we're on the subject of, well, clarifying exactly what they are, difference between centipede and millipede. Okay, millipedes, they have more than 2 legs per body segment. If you look at a millipede and you count all the stripes, multiply that times 2, or 4, If you multiply that by 4, you're going to have the number of legs that arthropod has. Now, a centipede only has 2 legs per body segment. So, fewer legs on a centipede. The description, in case you've never seen one, let's see. They have a long, slender body, up to 15 pairs of legs. The younger ones have fewer. They actually have to grow the body segments and the legs. Their legs get progressively longer towards the back, which is what gives them a very distinctive trailing appearance, I guess you could say. The females, they actually have extra long legs as the last pair, and when these are trailing behind them, it actually makes them look about 2 times as long as the males. Each leg is striped with light and dark bands, which also gives them kind of I think it's cool, but some people think it's a scary look to them. And it ends, the legs I'm talking about, they end in a hooked foot for gripping onto surfaces. They're usually a yellowish brown color with dark stripes along their bodies. Now, normally they can get to be about 1 to 1.5 inches, but like I said, if they have those legs trailing behind them like the female does, they can look much bigger than that. And of course, if these guys freak you out, you're probably going to think, oh, it was huge. It was probably 6 inches long. No, they don't get that big. But if you're scared of it, you may think they look that big. They have a flattened and elongated body, a very rigid exoskeleton. And if you're not familiar with that term, an exoskeleton is basically the skeleton's on the outside of the body instead of on the inside of the body like we have. So it gives them more protection. It gives them almost like a hard shell, a casing to protect them from some danger, not all. But this flattened, elongated body, it actually allows them to squeeze into very tight spaces. So just be aware of that when you're looking for them and they suddenly disappear. Now, they do have 2 very long whip-like antennae, which are actually pretty interesting. These antennae are covered in these tiny sensory hairs, and those sensory hairs can actually detect even very slight vibrations. So the slightest vibrations, and air movements too, can be detected by these tiny sensory hairs. Why do they need that? It helps them detect their prey, the animals that they're eating, that they're after. This helps them sense the presence of insects that are nearby, even in complete darkness. They actually don't like light. If you shine a light on one of them, they're going to scurry away, especially bright light. So they like hunting in the dark. Now, they can track prey using subtle chemical cues and the movement signals. So these antennae are very important for finding prey. But they're nocturnal, so they're very good at navigating in the dark. They often hunt in low light conditions. So their antennae, they kind of act like a second set of eyes, helping them feel their way around obstacles, and it helps them move more efficiently. Now, because their eyesight is very limited, they rely more on the antenna for detecting their surroundings. Now, another thing that the antenna does, it helps them avoid danger. Yeah, the antenna can detect changes in air pressure. And like I said earlier, the vibrations. So this allows the house centipedes to sense approaching predators or humans. Yeah, who are their predators too, especially if you're carrying a shoe in your hand. Don't kill them. But I'll get to that later. If they do detect a threat, they can quickly dart away in the opposite direction, away from the danger. Their speed, remember, they've got 15 legs. They're pretty quick. Combined with the highly sensitive antenna, this all makes it difficult for an animal to catch them. Now, why are these antennas so long? Yeah, they're very long. Why are they so long? Well, the extra long antenna gives them an extended range of detection. If they're short, they can't detect things that are further away. So this allows them to react before threats or prey get too close. And the length also helps them probe crevices and tight spaces. So that's when they're hunting for food. It helps them to see better in little crevices. And I keep saying it helps them to see. Well, they're actually feeling, because their eyes are not very good. No, they're not as good as other insects, so it's hard for them to see their prey. But unlike many other centipedes, house centipedes have large, well-developed compound eyes. The other centipedes don't have that. This gives them better vision than most of their relatives. Yeah, the compound eyes, it's kind of like having hundreds of eyes inside of one eye. So it allows them to pick up things better. But like I said, not that good. Not as good as other insects, but better than other centipedes. Now let's talk about the mouth parts. Their mouths are very small, but they are equipped with sharp, venomous, what we call forcipules, which are pincher-like appendages. Yeah, they're used to inject the venom into their prey. And you're thinking, yeah, I'm glad I just swatted that house centipede with my shoe. If it's got venom, well, don't worry. The venom is primarily used to immobilize, and it will kill small arthropods, including spiders, cockroaches, ants, silverfish, and other household pests. This venom, it breaks down the nervous system of their prey, making it easier for the centipede to consume it. House centipedes do not have traditional fangs like spiders, but their forcipules are highly effective at delivering venom through a quick jab into their prey. Now, while house centipedes can bite humans or our furried friends, they rarely do so unless they're handled or feel threatened. So yeah, just leave them alone. You don't have to pick them up. They're pretty cool though, but don't handle them. If they feel threatened, they might bite you. But even if you are bitten, the venom is generally harmless to humans and pets. It might cause a mild, localized pain, maybe some redness, maybe a little bit of swelling. It's almost like a bee sting. There are some people who are allergic to insect venom. If you are one of those, then yes, it can be more harmful. You could probably experience a stronger reaction, but serious cases, extremely rare. I did some research trying to find out, has anyone ever died by being bitten by a house centipede? And I never found a single person who has. So no, they are pretty harmless to people. Even if you're allergic to insect venom, yeah, you're going to have a much stronger reaction, but it's not going to kill you. Unlike some larger centipede species, house centipedes have relatively weak venom. If you run into a large centipede out in maybe Africa or wherever you're visiting, then you need to be a little more worried. Yeah, that venom can be much stronger and it can be very harmful. Now, the centipedes, the house centipedes, they are pretty quick when they move. Remember, 15 legs. The house centipedes extremely fast. They can not just run across the floor quickly to get away from you, but they can also run up walls. Remember, they have those little hooks on the end of their legs. So they use the long legs to scurry away whenever they're disturbed. And like I said, they can get away pretty quick and duck away pretty easily because they have that long, slender body. Now, you may be wondering what they eat. Well, I mentioned a few of the things they eat earlier when I was talking about the mouth parts, but they're basically carnivorous hunters, so they're eating other animals. Now, nothing big, not like humans or our pet dogs. No, they feed on a variety of household pests, and that includes cockroaches, spiders, ants, termites, silverfish. Oh, I hate those guys. Bed bugs. Actually, I don't hate any animal, but just like I talked in the past episode, I do not like things like fly larvae. But yeah, silverfish are another one of those that really, they freak me out a little bit. Bed bugs. They'll eat bed bugs, flies, moths. So by keeping the house centipedes around, they're actually helping to keep the pest population in check. Yeah, they act as living pest control, reducing the need for us to use chemical sprays in our houses. So we don't want that. How long do they live? Well, they can live for several years, depending on the conditions. I mean, if your house is the good habitat for them, lots of insects to eat, lots of dark places, moist places like a basement, yeah, they can live longer. But if they run out of food, they don't have the really good living conditions, then they won't live as long. But basically, it's usually several years. Most other common household arthropods, they don't live quite that long. And like I keep mentioning, their habitat, they prefer warm, humid environments. They often hide in cracks, sometimes under furniture. Basements are one of their favorite habitats. Yeah, nice and warm down there, and they also have lots of dark crevices. Remember, they're sensitive to bright light. You shine a flashlight at them, they're going to scurry away. Now, reproduction. I know you're hoping they don't reproduce, but they do. The females will lay the eggs in damp crevices. The young centipedes, they look very similar, only smaller than the adults. So they're kind of like a smaller version of the adults. They gain legs as they grow. So they don't start out with those 30 legs, 15 pair. Remember I mentioned earlier, 15 pair of legs. That's 30 total. Yeah, they don't start out with that. They just add them on as they grow. Now, before you start evicting them from your homes, now that you know all about them, I hope you will start realizing that, hey, it's actually kind of beneficial to keep them in our homes. They're natural pest control. Yeah, they keep the insects and the other pests in our house that we don't want there. They keep them under control. They evict them, so why should we evict the house centipede? They're helping us. And they don't do damage to the house. I mean, they're not like termites who will chew through the wood, or other insects who will chew through material. And no, they're not harming the house. The only thing they're doing is they're going about their business eating the insects that we don't want there anyhow. And as I mentioned, no harm to humans, no harm to pets. And they're also a pest indicator species. And you're probably wondering, what on earth is a pest indicator species? Well, if you find that you're running across house centipedes a lot in your house, that probably means that you have a lot of pests in your house. They're getting a lot of food, they're sticking around, they're breeding, you're getting a lot more house centipedes. If they don't have the food to eat, the pests that we don't want in our houses, well, then they will start dying off. They won't live as long. They won't reproduce as much. So if you have a large population, they're actually indicating to you that there might be a problem in your house. Okay, so hopefully by this point I've convinced you how wonderful these little critters are, these arthropods with the 30 legs and the long, slender body that may look a little intimidating, scary, but they are good to have around. So if I haven't convinced you yet, at least try to coexist with them. And how do you do that? Well, first of all, appreciate them. Understand that they're actually helping us. And that will actually hopefully put your mind at ease and realize that, okay, instead of killing him, just let him be. He's not bothering me other than freaking me out. He'll go away, shine a flashlight at him, whatever, and they'll just scurry off into a corner. They quietly reduce populations of spiders, ants, and cockroaches, so just leave them. Okay, appreciate them. Avoid killing them. If you see one, you can gently trap and relocate it if you want. Or, like I said, just shine a flashlight on it. I know, it makes you uncomfortable, but they're beneficial. Am I convincing you yet? I hope so. Another thing, reduce sudden encounters. And how do you do that? Well, keep their common hiding spots like basements and bathrooms. Keep those places tidy and keep them dry. If you have a wet basement, that's what they love. Wet, warm areas. So keep it dry, keep it tidy. Don't give them the places to hide. That way, it reduces you running into them more often. Now, if I still haven't convinced you, and you really want them gone, here's a couple of hints on how to reduce, or I should say manage, their numbers. First of all, I just mentioned this, reduce moisture. They like moisture. Use dehumidifier. If you have leaks in your basement, fix them right away. They thrive in damp areas, so if you keep it dry, you're going to reduce their numbers. Seal entry points. Remember, they can slip through very tiny cracks. So go around your house, look for these tiny cracks, maybe in the foundation, and seal them. Seal them with caulk. Hey, it's great for keeping the drafts out too. So seal any entry points where you think they might be coming in. And once again, declutter. Remove piles of boxes, laundry, any place that you think that a small animal, like a house centipede or some insect or maybe a spider, any place that you think they're going to hide, get rid of it. Yeah, just get rid of that hiding spot. So I hope this episode gave you a new appreciation for the house centipede. Despite their scary appearance, they help to maintain a balanced indoor ecosystem. I cannot stress that enough. So the next time that you see a house centipede, don't get freaked out. Just let them go. Let them live and do what they're supposed to do. Keep our homes free from harmful insects. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening today. Be certain to share the podcast with your nature-loving friends so that they too can learn more about the natural world around them. If you'd like to support the podcast, visit the show notes for a link to my Ko-Fi page. You can also support the podcast by purchasing awesome items at my online merch store. All the links are in the show notes, of course. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Stop back next week for another episode of the Nature Wanderer podcast. Search your basement for these awesome critters in the meantime. And have a great one and keep exploring the nature around you. Hello, friends. I hope you're out wandering through nature, exploring the natural world around you. Do you enjoy writing about your wanderings? Nature journaling is an awesome, fun way to remember all the adventures you have taken and how you felt during those journeys. If you're looking for some beautiful journals to keep track of all your wanderings, I have several available on Amazon, including some guided journals for children. Start your journey in journaling by clicking on the link in the show notes. Keep exploring the nature around you and keep journaling all your wanderings.